Big Blue Thumb Productions presents the Podlie Podcast. Here's your hosts, Podlie Bill, Podlie Cliff, and Podlie Paul.
I can't believe we just started like that.
Hello.
No.
We are here, episode 182.
182.
And hello there, Nicole. Nicole's worked in.
As they say in Scotland, it's 182.
It's Bill, it's Paul, and it's the hairless.
We were talking about
Cliffy, I'm sorry. Right before we got on.
we were talking about Cliff playing the drums. He should have had a drum kit here. And then Paul said, like animal. And
Like
I said,
animal.
without the hair. And then Paul said, the hairless animal.
We're still laughing about it.
That's me.
Sorry.
Just before we get on the air, he's calling me a hairless animal.
Oh, you're on!
Oh, my Lordness gracious.
I'm sorry, buddy. I
Not a
love
problem,
you.
not a problem at all. This is how things sort of explode into comedy. This is how things explode into comedy. I was talking about playing the drums, and he says like animal, and he says
Holy
without hair. And before you know it, we're all giggling our asses off just before the bloody thing goes live.
I'm sorry about that. That was scripted. I would have said it earlier. I'm sorry.
All right,
I'm
Nicole,
sorry.
3,500 points. Hello there, William Kirkland. 2,500
William
points.
Kirkland.
Jeremy gets in on the points tonight.
Jeremy.
1,000 points for Jeremy.
Oh, whoa, wait, hold. Jeremy's ripping you off, buddy. It's supposed to be 1,500.
1,500. Sorry, 1,500.
That's 750 for each kid, Jeremy.
And
That's
hello,
right.
Lori. And,
Hi, Laurie. Nice to see you.
Hello, Laura.
Laura
Yes,
May. About time you showed up.
Laura, I will be there tonight, by the way. I don't know if you're coming, but I will be there tonight. Karaoke.
Planning a little tryst, are you?
Karaoke. Monday.
Karaoke.
Monday. I just haven't been in a long time.
I thought maybe you guys were planning a little tryst.
No.
A little rendezvous. A
karaoke tryst.
little rendezvous.
Just with a capital T.
Tryst with a capital T and a little rendezvous.
And a capital T and then a wrist.
It's a vous de ronde.
De ronde. De ronde.
It's a rendezvous.
Oui.
Vous.
We're bilingual.
Not a deja vu, but a rendezvous.
Rendezvous. We're bilingual on this
Yeah.
show.
Did I ever tell you about that birthday card that I got for a guy one time?
No.
When you open it up, right at the top it says, the birthday card, right? Right at the top it says, as you get older, you experience deja vu more often. And then when you open it up, it says, as you get older, you experience deja vu more often. And then when you
Deja vu and the voulez-vous with the
there we
rendezvous.
go. And then you put it, then you turn the card right over to the back and it says, as you get older, you experience deja vu more often.
Laura says, wait, something is scripted? Absolutely not, Laura.
Lauren, I will say this once and say this only once. Don't be ridiculous.
Don't be
Don't
ridiculous.
be ridiculous.
Nothing is scripted.
First and foremost,
And
Jeremy.
the points don't matter.
No, they don't go to anything, but it's good to collect them.
First, Jeremy, Bill, happy belated Father's Day, everybody.
Yes.
To all you
Happy
papas.
belated and belated.
To all of you papas. Can I gloat a little bit? This is what I got. This is what I got for my kids. Okay, now.
Pictures.
Yes. Do you know what those are? These are the front covers to 2 Depeche Mode albums.
Oh, yeah.
Bless
Isn't
you.
that cool?
Bless you.
That's cool,
That's awesome,
eh?
buddy.
Bless you.
I love it. Those are my cards from my kids. So, gotta
That's
love 'em.
awesome.
Laura says she goes to karaoke every Monday, so I guess the tryst is on.
The twist is on.
The tryst is on.
The twist is on. It's a rendezvous.
Jeremy says I may suffer from Alzheimer's, but at least I don't suffer from Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's.
So it's either a tryst or an assignation. I like that word, assignation.
Oh, wow.
Look it up, I would say. If you don't know the bloody word, look up the word assignation. It's rather nice. Not assassination. Sometimes an assassination can occur after an assignation.
Wow.
Oh, and,
Hello,
and
Andrea.
Mama's here too. Hi, Mama. Hi, Mama Schultz.
Hi,
Andrea
Mama Schultz
Schultz. Hey, Andrea, thank you for that lovely message. Since Paul was gloating, I will tell you I got a Father's Day message as well. Proud as a peacock. Thank you very much from my godchildren's mother right there, Andrea. Thank you for that. I appreciate you thinking of me.
Laura, oh no, not another crazy song insert. Laura, we're on top of it here.
Listen, dude,
We're on top of it.
we're on top.
So it's been a couple weeks since we have been here.
I wonder whose fault that was.
And we're back. Yeah, whose fault was
Not
it?
mentioning any names, but the dude's wearing an Oilers shirt.
With my Stanley Cup. Oh, wrong side. With my Stanley Cup on it.
Yeah, you went on a tryst, didn't you?
I did go on a 9-day trip to Vegas. That's a long time. In
Well, he
Vegas,
said
let me
trip.
tell you.
I said tryst.
Yeah, that's That's. I don't mind Vegas for 4 or 5 days.
Vegas.
But it was 9 days this time. That's a
Well,
long time.
as long as it didn't happen, because if it happened, then you have to stay in Vegas.
true.
Talked to Chai downstairs. She said it was hot but bearable, though.
Well, it was up to, we're
That's,
about
that's
40.
what the women say about me.
That's right. Hot but bearable. That's what we all say about you, Cliffy.
Hot but bearable.
It was averaging about 44 degrees Celsius.
So what made it,
Vegas was
okay,
very
so,
hot.
because 44 degrees is not bearable to some people. What made it bearable? Just, you
I
used to
don't know,
44
maybe
degrees?
we just acclimatized really quick.
cool.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
44 would not be bearable to Jeremy, let me tell you.
it was very very hot for the 9 days we were there. But hey, we got away with it, and
So Jeremy
through
says
it.
he's been here, he's been watching us. You didn't see me hiding in the bushes, did you? No, Jeremy, we didn't.
yeah, did not see that. So, Vegas,
Bill's been in 44-degree weather in the desert for not. This is his tan right here. This is his tan.
yeah. Can you imagine going all the way to Vegas to enjoy it? Well, air conditioned way. You know what, Jeremy? That's the only way to actually survive the heat there. So you, when you're on the Las Vegas, well, we started actually the weekend we arrived. We stayed at the Golden Nugget, which is downtown Vegas. Animal here. He lost his hair.
That was perfect.
I'm sorry.
But that whole sound, actually, I heard how many times in Vegas over the past 9
That was
days.
perfect.
I can tell you we arrived into Vegas on June 7th, and I can tell you every single night we were there was dinner and party. Every night.
Oh, I get
That's
it.
a
Oh, no
shame.
kidding. No kidding.
Every night. I need to dry out now.
That's a shame.
I need to dry out after 9 days
He
of
needs to
nonstop,
de-Vegas from Vegas.
nonstop drinking. I did not go to any shows, Andrea. I was there for work, actually.
Did you go to the Sphere? Did you see the Sphere?
Did not get to the Sphere, and here's the reason why. We looked into it. It's literally anywhere from about $150 to $250 US to go in and see a 45-minute show.
What? Really?
Yes.
Nope.
So we did not go to that. But I was there for a wedding, actually. So the opening weekend we went was for a wedding. And then Monday was work time. I was there for a tech conference. So while we did work during the day, the evenings were all play and party every single night. So
nice, eh?
not a lot of sleep, a lot of drink, and lots of food. Like
Sounds like a
much
Halliburton environment to me.
food. So much food. It was.
Sounds like a terrible
wow.
time, eh, Cliff?
I know.
Sounds like a terrible time.
I would never
Yeah.
want it.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it was a good time. I'm not saying it wasn't. We did have a good time.
So
but
when you
I
weren't
did-
drinking and when you weren't eating, what were you doing?
I was at the Infocom Tech Conference.
The whole time, for the whole 9 days?
Well, no, just for the week. So the first 3 days we were at for the wedding. We came in on the Friday. The wedding was on the Saturday.
Yeah.
So we actually stayed in downtown Vegas, the Golden Nugget, which is Fremont Street.
Nice, yeah.
And hung out there. And then on the Monday we transferred to the Flamingo Hotel, which is on the Strip. And that's where all the company was staying. And we were on the Strip, and then so we were at the conference right through. So I kept track of my steps during the week of the conference. I did well over 60,000 steps in about 4 days, 4.5 days. Probably.
And then balanced it out with all the beer that he drank.
With all the beer.
Yeah. Well, hey, but here's the thing: at the conference, at about 2:30, 3 o'clock, a lot of the booths break out happy hour. So you can go to every single booth and get free
Yeah,
beer,
get free stuff,
wine,
right?
Whatever you want at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we would go because each night had dinner bookings with suppliers who were buying us dinner. And so we'd be at different dinner spots and we'd have free booze. And the wedding, by the way, going back to the wedding, was open bar and food as well. So, yeah.
Cliff, terrible time.
I know. I wouldn't.
a terrible time.
Bill, we feel for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
I can
That's
tell you
terrible.
At the wedding, they had a table set up with all these hangover cures on it that you could take with you. They had Advil. They had Gatorade powder shots you can take to help.
The electrolytes.
Alcohol.
The electrolytes, yeah.
Actually, we did a pool party on the Tuesday morning with our company at the Flamingo. And our owner booked a cabana, so we had a big cabana, and they brought in these little bottles, which are called atomic alcohol shot or something, so it helps you tolerate the alcohol. You take a shot of it.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of those. It kind of offsets almost the alcohol.
Offsets
Yeah.
the alcohol, so they brought all these little
It's crazy.
in because they keep bringing in barrels of alcohol. Then we go to a place called the Carnival Court every night after. dinner, and the Carnival Court is a live band it's right on the strip. It almost looks like a big circus tent, but it's cement and it's open on the sides. So you go there every night, and again, we have an area set aside for dealers and for our company. And as soon as we're there, these pails start showing up with beer and coolers, and they just keep
It's a drink fest,
coming to the table.
I love it.
We got to see some great live bands. Saw a band called Spandex Nation. They were an 80s band.
Hella name.
80s band, but wow, they're actually really good. They played a lot of the everything from Def Leppard to Bon Jovi.
Local band to Vegas?
I think they're a Vegas band, yeah, and they're actually quite good. One night was kind of a country rock guy.
Nice.
It wasn't bad. But a couple 80s bands and a country rock guy. And then we saw actually on Fremont Street a band called the Black Donnellys.
Oh.
And they were really good.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned them. Yeah.
They were an Irish band, but they did one Johnny Cash cover, which is awesome. They did a couple of really good songs. But anyway, yeah, it was
very cool.
It was
Very
good.
cool.
So Infocom is one of the biggest tech conferences in the world. So it gathers about 25,000 people that attend that conference.
Wow.
So it's it is a big conference.
When'd you get back?
Saturday.
Saturday.
So we're still kind of
sleep
tired.
since?
Actually.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We haven't had much sleep in the past 9 days.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Was wedding, family, or friends? So the wedding actually was the owner of my company. It was her son, who's our.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned. You mentioned,
he got married in Vegas, and it was actually a very nice venue. It was not a venue, I should say. It was a very nice venue. It was not a cheesy like Elvis. It was a big. It was an outdoor wedding venue in Vegas. So it was outdoors for the actual ceremony, and then they had a indoor reception building that you went into right after the ceremony. That was all, of course, air conditioned, which was nice. So, what did we say?
Saturday! And it go.
But anyway, that's me. That was my week. How was your guys?
That was your week. It was your
a very
week.
busy time, yeah. Like I said, if I fall asleep in the next little bit here, don't worry.
That's okay. Well, Paul and I will talk amongst ourselves.
We can. We can do that.
Yes.
We do that.
How's you, Paulie?
Me's busy.
How's the new job?
New job is wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Keeping us up to date on our traffic.
Great, keeping you up to date on the traffic. I am not the one. I am not the one causing the traffic. I am just the one keeping you up to date.
So for those of you who don't know, 880 Edmonton on your AM dial, 880 Edmonton on your AM dial is iNews, all news, 24/7, yada yada yada. Mr. Paulie over here is our fantastic traffic dude from what, 2 o'clock?
Monday to Friday, anytime after 2 o'clock is my first report till just after 5 is my last report.
So you go 2 to 5,
Yeah.
Monday to Friday, 880 news.
Monday to Friday.
Okay, Friday.
And to Laura's point, that's a good point, actually, Laura. Mr. Paul Huck.
Yes,
I'm
he
not
goes
Paul
by-
Huckluck. I'm Paul Huck.
This is
And I
not
knew that. I
another-
knew that going in.
Oh, they'll
years.
shorten it, but that's a good handle, though.
Cliff, I knew. You know what, buddy? I knew that going in.
Yeah.
My last name's Hooklack. I knew ever since starting radio, you're
would be
gonna
Huck. You're
have
gonna
to
shorten
change
it,
your. Yeah, and I knew it full well,
Huckleberry
right?
Finn.
Yeah.
At least there's not another letter in front of those first three
That's
letters.
right.
Paul.
Paul P.H. Uck.
That's right.
And this is
Paul P.H. Uck. Well,
reporting.
I've gone by Paul Reed before.
Okay.
I've gone by Paul Reed. I was tempted to go by Paul St. Paul
Paul St. Paul, nice.
one time.
I think
but I've
Huck
gone by
is so
Paul
good.
Reed and Paul Huck. Yeah.
I think Huck is so good.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's good. So thank you very much, guys. Yeah, after 2 till 5:15, two till 5:45. Pardon me. Monday to Friday on Global News 880 AM. I would very much appreciate all your support. I would also very much appreciate all of your opinions too.
Okay, but here's the deal. If I'm told that the weather is bad on the White Mud and I take the time to actually divert my trip and detour and go around the White Mud only to find out that it was already cleared. And
Cleared.
I could have gone through. Guess who I'm going to call? Do you think I'm going to call Paul Huckalack? No, I'm going to call Paul Huck.
Yeah, and complain about the traffic.
That's
Buff.
right. That Paul guy, man. I
know.
tell you.
It's just like the weather guys who get blamed for all the weather, right?
They will.
If the traffic's off, then we know why.
So Jeremy says he's been told he has a face for radio. Jeremy. Paulie, on the other
That's
hand.
why I'm on radio, my brother.
Paulie, on the other hand, the handsome dude that he is, television's been calling, but he was like, nope, I'm a purist.
No, television has never,
I'm a
ever
purist.
been calling.
But I just got to go back for something here. Sorry, Paul.
That's okay.
At the beginning of the show, we talked about animal. and you were talking about hairless animal. But animal's got to be, what, 75, 80 years old now?
At least.
So he's very well probably hairless. If we were to see
I would
him
guess.
now, he's probably got no hair. So
And when he
probably
goes
right
animal
with
on the drum set, it's probably a little bit
That's true.
slower.
yeah, he's probably lost.
That is true.
Yeah, he
That
can't-
is true.
He's probably
That
got
is
so
true.
many issues with his neck and everything
He'll be
now.
like-
He just can't. Yeah, it's just in slow motion.
Hairless and Aphroditic animal.
An Aphrodite.
Yeah, it's fun. Survivor Fest last weekend went well. Congratulations. MC and DJ Survivor Fest, which is it's an ultra marathon in
24
Strathcona
hours.
County here. 24 hours. And there's some others. There's some 4 hours, some 8 hours, some 12 hours. 24 hours. And like there were international records broken. It was these guys are machines. These guys and girls are absolute machines. It was incredible to watch. Incredible to watch.
Nice.
So thank you to Laura Shearer Townsend for inviting me to MC and DJ that event last weekend. What else is going on? Jeez, lots is going on, you guys. And if I may, get your Ravenwood tickets. We're under a month, you guys. We're under a month. Get your Ravenwood tickets.
You got it. And how about you, Mr. Cliff?
What about me?
Hi,
What?
Brittany.
What the hell about me? Oh my God, look at that. It's Miss Brittany. Hey,
Brittany.
Mr. Brittany Rayan Anderson. How are you, dude? Nice to see you. Even though I can't see you, but it's nice to see you. And cheers. There you go. What were we talking about again now?
How was your
are you?
past couple weeks?
The last couple of weeks was rather good then. No, I don't know. It's not. No, standard. It was been really busy. All that sort of shite. Weekend was busy. Work's busy. Had kind of a shitty day today. But hey, it's a podcast. It's
We're
performance.
here. We're
Smiling.
It's right here. We smile and we go on. Why? Because this
Smiling
is
on.
television. You know, yes, rather. Yes, rather, yes. So no, kind of a shitty day today, but yeah, that's what you do, right? You get on and you laugh and
Pick
you
yourself
joke.
up, dust yourself
Pick
off,
yourself
baby.
up, dust yourself off, all that type of jazz, and you move on.
Yes.
So yeah, but otherwise, status quo. It's busy, good at work, and yeah, I could do with a little less rain.
It would be nice, I guess. I have to admit, though, noticing the temperature. So when we flew out of Vegas on Saturday morning, so we were at the airport for like 5, I don't know what it was, 5:15 a.m. or whatever. We had an 10 a.m. flight. But at 5 in the morning, it was still like 90 degrees. And I have to admit, getting on the plane and then getting home, I didn't bring a jacket. It was a little chilly.
little nippy, eh?
It was a little chilly.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's cold today too. Actually,
man,
it's cold today too.
Brittany says, so sad I missed you. I've been busy too. Weather also giving marinating season.
Oh yeah, hey, yeah, Britt. Listen, I was in your neck of the woods, not for a good reason, obviously, which you probably know. Not for a good reason. I was in your neck of the woods. I actually was planning, or potentially marinating anyway, on a trip for better reasons. It never worked out. Nonetheless, maybe next time, young lady. But it would be nice to see you.
By the way, I just want to let our viewers know, I've had some internet issues, so if we happen to cut in and out, I will let you know. I've noticed a couple little warnings pop up on our screen here, but hopefully...
Yeah, did it storm here today?
We had a huge windstorm this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Got really black and windy, and it did rain a little bit. We didn't get the hail that they got in, was it northeast?
Yeah.
Edmonton?
northeast.
Yeah.
We didn't get that, but we got hit pretty good. So I don't know. I have a big tower on the top of my house, so I don't know if it did anything to that or what. But
And just to follow up, Brittany says, I don't know. Oh, you don't know? Okay, but why we came? But I'll have to message you next time, of course. Do so, Britt. And yeah, would be nice to see you this summer, I said.
And if I may, cheers to the Children's Autism Services. Thank you very much for inviting me to MC your annual golf trip, golf event this last Friday for Children's Autism Services. Had a blast. Met some really cool people. Met some unbelievable people. Yeah, good fun was had by all on Friday at the Quarry. You ever been to the Quarry, boys?
I have heard of it, but I've not been there.
What a beautiful golf course. We're talking golf.
I never been.
It is beautiful. I didn't play it. I've not played it. I heard it's really hard, but my gosh, you guys, when you go down into that valley, northeast Edmonton, it's absolutely beautiful. That is a beautiful course, you guys. So
Talking of golf, I still got to get out to the get some golf in. I got 2 golf tournaments coming up next month. I got to
I'm
play.
actually going this week.
are you going? Are you going to go? You're going to go. Good for you.
Well,
me lovely boss invited me out, so
Good for you.
I got to get out there at least to the driving range and get out and play a few holes before the July tournaments. So get ready for those.
And what's Britt say? Cheers to the autism thing. Absolutely, Britt. Such a great cause when people work
They're
toward that.
amazing.
You know,
They're amazing. Yeah, I was blessed to be invited out there to MC their or to do trivia for their event. So
nice, cool.
Yeah.
And lastly, before we get to our topic, because Andrea's asking about that, I was just going to bring that up, Andrea. So, hey, if you happen to read the Edmonton Journal, they had a article on online on events upcoming. Ravenwood is in there. In the Edmonton Journal events section, along with all the other festivals that were listed.
Get your tickets.
and as you know,
This year.
since all news has been banned on social media in Canada, we can't post it to you.
Yeah, we can't
so you're
post
just going to have to go to the Edmonton Journal site.
Yeah, go under entertainment, and there's an article on all
And
the
look at it
upcoming
there.
festivals around Alberta.
Yeah,
and,
because Canadians are not allowed to listen to news.
We're not allowed to
We're
put
not-
any news up.
Yeah, we're not allowed to listen to news. It's against the law.
Yeah, so we can't talk about news here, I guess.
No news.
No news.
No news.
No
is
news
good
is
news.
No news is good news. No news is good news.
All right, okay, Andrea, I know somebody, Laura's going to come on here probably and tell us to get to the topic as well. So I'm going to bring it up here. And
I have briefly read this topic. Have you guys had any time to think about it? I've had no time to think about it,
Well,
you guys.
Bill was
A little bit.
Bill was talking on chat. I was driving, and he says there's no topic, and I'm like, just kind of spat it out onto the machine.
Yeah.
And then when I talked to Billy, he goes, "Yeah, that's a pretty good topic." And then when I reread it, I'm like, "Yeah, it's not a bad topic. We can
Not a
discuss
bad
that."
topic. So I'm going to make mention here that this wording on here, I copied and pasted in here, but I can only put 200 words in here, so it cut the latter part off. There was a little bit more you had on there, but
No problem.
in a world that is ever more connected than it's ever been, 24/7. Why is it that so many of us feel disconnected, disjointed, and alone? Is this true of many people?
So what I asked was, is this true of many people, or is it only true of some of us? And if it's actually true of many, many people, then number one, why is it that way? Number two, how do we remedy it? Like, what is the potential fallback? How do we correct it? How do we feel connected again, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
Jeremy, we didn't say nudes. We said news.
Yeah, news, Jeremy.
Not nudes.
dude.
This is a family show.
Yeah, when I
Jeremy-
say send news, okay, I never mean nudes. Well, certainly not to you.
Jeremy, don't worry about it. You and I can talk where we get our nudes later. I don't get it on Facebook either.
Yeah, all
I'm just saying.
Paulie's nudes are selfies.
We'll talk later.
Sorry, I had to
From
say
the
that.
bottom up.
Yeah, but the problem with that, it just put a whole picture in my mind that I don't want to think about. Wow.
Okay, well, that went the wrong way.
Yes, as Paul is your nude MC. Hire him.
The new MC, he's the new MC.
The nude MC.
Just a bow tie. That's all Paul wears when he MCs.
That's really good marketing. Yeah. Paulie, the nude MC.
Anyway,
There's
back to the.
There's a really good meme on floating around Facebook. It's got a photographer, and he says to the model, "Hey, are you okay with nudes?" And the model says yes. And the next frame shows the photographer nude taking pictures.
Paul P.H. Uck, the nude MC. I
The
like
nude
it.
MC, Paul P.H.
I can see Paul walking out to MC an event in a row and takes it off, and he's just there in his bow
There's my microphone.
It's his black tie only, right? Yeah.
All he's got on is a bow tie and a little strap that
So he
holds his
comes
handheld mic.
Well, he read somewhere on some brochure it said expose yourself to Edmonton, so he did.
Y'all joke like I wouldn't do it,
Whips
dude.
his mic out of his little belt on this side.
Y'all. Whoa,
Okay.
Whoa,
All right, we got-
I'm talking about little Mike. What topic?
Topic. Okay, so here's the rule on our show. For those that pick the topic, get to start first.
What
Cliff.
the? I started that rule. How's that for coming back to freaking bite you in the ass, eh?
Laura says, by the way, that she does not feel alone. I have so many cool forums that I am a part of.
Forums that you're part of? Oh, okay. Well, then if I need to go first, I will tell you this. In this world that is more connected than we've ever been, it is my assertion, and you could go and read, and you probably find me right. It is my assertion that more people feel lonely now than they ever did 20 years ago prior to social media.
Amen.
And the reason for that is we had real connection. right now on social media, people post stuff that is so far removed, often, so far removed from their real life, that then they get all these accolades and dopamine hits for the likes and whatnot. But then what happens is when they go back to their normal life, they realize that all of those was some little electronic kick that gave them something in the brain, but there was no actual, be it physical, emotional, mental connection with another human being. It is my assertion that we all have an aura around us. The larger than life personalities in our lives have an aura that's bigger and extends around the people around you. And I think on social media, that human aura, that human energy is actually missing. And everything is like a little top coat of paint and the underneath stays the same. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. A little while ago, I posted a picture from, 2013 or 2014 or something that was taken at a wedding. Somebody took a picture of me. My second photographer took a picture of me just for a light test. And that picture looks good, man. I look good in that picture. I got a crisp shirt on and a crisp pair of pants on. I got my big ass camera in my hand. And anybody seeing that who doesn't know me would think, oh, look at this guy, man. He's living the life, blah, 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 blah. And they might even be jealous of that. But they have no idea who I am. Mm-hmm. So their only connection to me may be seeing this one picture and thinking, oh yeah, he's living the high life, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, that very year, I had some huge heartache in my life. 2 years after that, I lost my brother very, very suddenly.
Right.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So what you see on there is in so many ways phony that you think there's a connection, but the moment your brain starts to analyze it and you discover how you feel, you don't feel connected. You just got that little dopamine hit of a like, but you don't feel connected.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I can go out for coffee and I could spend 2 hours with a friend or 1 hour with a friend, and just being within their presence, possibly just within their aura, is enough to regenerate and rejuvenate my spirit or my soul or whatever it is.
Right. So I'm just going to jump in.
Sure.
So I believe actually that connectivity causes a huge human disconnectivity because we are so reliant on our cell phones, on our tablets,
Everything,
on our laptops, etc. And you're talking about maybe people still feeling alone. Well, I think, as somebody has mentioned here too, people get addicted to, Andrew mentioned, some people are addicted to their cell phones, etc., and they can't leave those phones. But when they do set those phones down, especially I think the younger generation, they have no idea how to communicate face to face.
Face to face,
so
yeah.
it takes away that connectivity, becomes that disconnectivity, because you no longer know how to communicate. And if you can't communicate face to face, like you said, go have coffee with somebody, or have a drink with somebody, or have dinner with somebody, or have fun with somebody, whatever, in person, you lose that capability. So then I think you start to feel that loneliness because now all of a sudden I can't communicate with you or you very well because I'm used to just being, I feel more comfortable if I can pick up my device and just be like this and, oh, is that right, Cliff? Okay.
Because you have
Now it's back to here.
Because you're not looking at facial expressions, none of these things. And I think, honestly, one of my top sort of assertions was that as humans, we have this aura.
Yeah.
And the bigger the sort of the personality of this human, that aura and energy extends out further. And the people who are around you, or those of us around them, feel within that aura. And that energizes us. And it promotes that feeling of connectivity. Because I think truly when people's aura come together, I know I sound this all metaphysical here, but the fact of the matter is there's an energy field around all of us. We know that. This is science. This is not some bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think when the energy fields collide, I think that feeds each other's energy in my mind. I know that sounds metaphysical, but the fact of the matter is I believe it to be true.
And here's something interesting, actually. At that wedding I was at in Vegas, they had a program, and in that program they had a notation that said, "Please, no cell phones allowed during the service."
The service, yeah.
So you weren't allowed to have your cell phone up for pictures or anything. And then they actually, at the beginning of the service, said, "The reason we've asked for no cell phones is we would like you to be, paying attention to
talk to people,
present with our service and everything that's happening, and not on your cell phone."
No, it makes sense. Hey, Podlie, I wonder if you'd be kind enough. You're the voice man. Brittany had some long comments on it. And a couple other people.
That's why I backed up.
Yeah, if you would be kind enough to.
That's why I backed up. So here we go. Laura says, I guess now that you guys are together, Paul will contain himself and not show up in just a bow tie.
Deal.
Ha ha, not
Deal.
so much.
Good stuff.
Brittany comments, that is 100,000%.
There we go.
Brittany says, people forget we don't always share the downfalls on things. So forget not everyone's life is perfect.
And you know, Britt, that's so important, because if I think your life is perfect, then I maybe cannot relate to you. And if I cannot relate you, well, there's the disconnect. The disconnect is right there.
Yeah.
And not what they went through to get there. Brittany continues to say, damned if you do and damned if you don't. Andrea says, it takes a lot of work and effort to really connect with people, and some people don't want to be vulnerable.
Agreed.
Because they are afraid of being rejected or offended or proven wrong, or maybe assumed wrong.
100%, Andrea.
I'll comment on that.
And you know what?
Andrea.
I'm guilty of doing that to other people, and I'm sure other people are guilty of doing it to me. I think we're all guilty of that at times.
Brittany continues to say, people don't listen to understand anymore. Most of the time, it's simply just a reply. That's
Yes.
You know what, Britt?
That's a big heart on that one, Brittany.
Britt, that's so huge. That one little sentence that you just put together there is literally the freaking bane of my existence. That is what so many people are like. They simply do not listen to understand, only to reply.
Jeremy says, I think, ellipsis, the social media is the sugar rush. It's cheap consumption for endorphins. We get hooked and we forget that we need to consume real food. We get the laughs, the memes, and we miss out on all of the deeper emotional interactions. We miss out on any sort of challenging thought. Come into your own personalized echo chamber.
100%, Jeremy, 100,000%.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Cliff.
Some good points there.
What did
Oh,
Paul-
look, man, how fast the half an hour goes. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the middle of the podcast.
There you
And
go.
if you're new here, it's just something we do. It's in
Yeah.
the middle of the podcast,
So,
and I welcome people
here's-
to the middle of the podcast.
Here's something else that I have to talk about as we're talking about, our electronics and this kind of thing. So just today, you may have heard this, just today the government has announced, starting in September, all cell phones are banned in the classroom.
What?
All electronics have been banned in the classroom.
Alberta.
No cell phones, no watches, nothing electronic is allowed in the classroom. It has to be hidden and turned off. So
Or just a computer.
only their
Laptop, yeah.
Google Chrome. So again, no Apple Watches, no.
That's
cell phones.
fantastic.
It
The
just
government will get no argument from me.
It just was announced today that this has been put into place.
Look, for a change, I like something the government's doing. What the hell's wrong with me?
Which is nice, because I was teaching. I was teaching a course at Grant MacEwan even a few years back.
Yeah.
And there was
Everybody's
nothing more.
on
And
the
these are college students, university students. I'm teaching. Nothing more frustrating than in the middle of trying to say something and somebody's phone goes off.
I know, right? Oh, just look up and you got 5 people on their phones.
Yeah. Or I look in
100%.
the back row and somebody's back there doing this.
100%.
So Kat Rollick, welcome. She says, "Yay, I made it for the middle of the podcast."
Perfect timing, Kat.
Good timing, Kat.
Yeah.
And Brittany says, "Good." Ostensibly, I'm thinking that she meant the electronics. No electronics.
Jeremy says C is the middle of the podcast.
C is the middle of the podcast. There you go.
We got to remember, guys, communication is a skill. It needs to be practiced.
And taught first.
It needs to be taught first,
practice.
but it needs to be taught first, and that's a mother's and father's job first. That starts at day one. Actually, that starts before day one. That starts in the belly, as far as I'm concerned. We can debate that another time. But it's a taught skill. It starts with the mom and dad. And because it's a skill, it has to be continually practiced. It has to be continually, and I'll say that.
Continually.
I'll say that because in my not so distant past, I used to see everybody all the time, 7 nights a week. I was around people. Just within the last 5 or 6 years, I've had a lot of time alone to myself. For whatever reason, professional, personal, for whatever, I've had a lot of time alone. I don't go out all the time anymore, this, that, and the other thing. And I have to be honest with you. It's my conversation has taken a hit. My connectivity to people has really taken a hit. I feel that. It's a skill. It's got to be practiced.
Got another comment there, Paul.
That AI shite is crazy. I wonder how they'll be able to do that.
Hey, Brett.
Though, speaking of the government.
We had a great discussion here on AI. I don't know what podcast
Like
number.
episode 145 or something like that. It's
Yeah,
quite a while
we had a
ago.
great episode. I'll give you a brief synopsis. we were talking about AI taking over jobs, and Chai Roberts, Bill's wife, is a grief counselor par excellence, and she was saying that her job was safe, and I took umbrage with that, and I said I don't think so. And then so she came on the next podcast, and her and us had a really interesting discussion about AI and what AI is going to be possibly capable of, and we disagreed and agreed all at the same time on many different points. It was a fantastic discussion. If you ever feel like, if you're driving and you want to go listen to something, try and find that podcast. It was really quite interesting.
I can tell you something quickly too. Being at this tech conference this past week, the amount of AI and robotic equipment and things that were there
Must be
was
crazy.
amazing. I saw some robotic talking heads that have actual faces on them.
Wow.
And they react to every movement that you do when you look at them, and it's like talking to an actual person, but it is not an actual person.
Isn't that crazy,
Can you just back up a couple of Bill? I'm gonna just reiterate some. Brittany says they think they're getting sneakier.
Yeah.
Every decade. Brittany then goes on to say, might have been my most taught one. And she references Lori.
Yeah, that's her mom. Lori's the mom.
Nicole says, when I was at a school, we had parents check their cell phones in the basket, and at the end of the concert, pulled a cell phone, and they were the winner of our hamper. That's a pretty good idea. I like that idea, actually, quite frankly. Jeremy says, oh man, I love how my productivity has increased with ChatGPT.
Yep.
The code I write goes from concept to reality so much faster. Troubleshooting, syntax correction, love it, he says. Andrea then goes on to say, we are currently teaching our son to use his words when his sister takes his toy or broke his tower, etc., instead of yelling and pushing. 100%. That is, Andrea, you have young kids. I have a 12-year-old that I had to not teach that to, but remind that of this past weekend. So that is a forever lesson.
Hello, Shirley, 4204.
Hi, Shirley.
Shirley 4204.
I am here as well, Shirley. Now, I don't know which Shirley this is, but I'm thinking possibly Shirley Mayer. I'm not sure.
Could be. I just quickly want to mention too, Jeremy, I have used ChatGPT as well, and interestingly have found it quite useful in some things. It's very quick, and you go in. It allows you to go in and do editing if you have to, but it provides some pretty.
Okay, but friends, this is backwards, all right? We always talked about having robots.
Yes.
To do the work, so that we humans could be freed up to do the creative work and the literary work and all that sort of stuff, that our minds would be free. We even talked about this on the podcast a couple of years ago. What if I didn't have to wash dishes? What if I had a robot to do that? Then that would free up time for me to exercise my creativity and to think and to write and to do photography and art. Well, guess what? It's got backwards now. Guess what? We're still checking in our own groceries, but ChatGPT is writing novels and writing poetry and actually creating art. You guys, think about this. Just think about how serious this issue is. We've got robots, essentially a robot. AI is essentially a robot. They're the ones doing the artistic work. They're the ones creating images. They're the ones creating poetry. They're the ones who are actually writing novels now. All right? And guess what we're doing? We're still the ditch diggers.
And the problem with that is you're looking at an artist. You're looking at an artist. You're looking at an artist. We're getting our asses kicked here, you guys. This is how I feel, you guys.
And
I feel like I'm getting my ass kicked.
We're the ones that would be continue to do the dishes. And of course, I'm being facetious here. Obviously, we have dishwashers and all, but you know what I mean, right? We're going to be the ditch diggers, and the AI and the robots are going to be the artists.
So I do want to clarify though my use of ChatGPT. I don't use it for any creative things.
No.
I'm only using it if I'm working on a legal document or
Right.
something like that I have to for our businesses that Chai and I are involved in. But I don't use it for any. I don't believe in using it for any creativity.
Oh,
I
sure.
believe that has to be. I'm not going to go on there and try and write a hit song.
Right,
or anything
right,
like
yeah.
that.
But here's the thing, and Kat says this so succinctly: AI doesn't create; it steals. And truer words have never been spoken. I totally agree with that.
Kat, we've talked about this. Please go back and listen to that episode on AI that we had this discussion. And I know Paul says he agrees, but I can tell you something. The singularity is coming, and what the singularity is, right now, AI is taking in gazillion bits and bytes of data, untold billions of bytes of data. The entire knowledge of the globe is being fed currently to the AI generators of this world. Well, guess what? There will come a time when AI has absorbed all of the known knowledge and facts that the world currently has. Guess what happens after then, Kat? Then that's when creativity begins. Just like humans, we take in a bunch of information and then we slowly start to produce. AI is the same thing. The singularity will occur when AI no longer needs the input of the knowledge of the world. It can start to create by itself, and believe it or not, that's not very far away.
It is actually, I'm going to tell you that I have seen some of it, again, already at the tech conference that I was just at this past week in Las Vegas. AI is already doing its own creating.
See, I'm telling you, it's happening, and I talked about this on that show with Chai. That's what actually started the conversation. Into a deeper level, because I'm telling you, that is the singularity. The singularity is when you no longer need the world's information. AI will then start to take the information that it has, and based on that, it will extrapolate and create new information. That's what us humans do currently.
Shirley says, by the way, Cliff, yes, actually, Randy using Shirley's YouTube profile.
Oh, nice. Hello, Randy. Nice to see you.
I love the fact that Brittany thinks we're too young to remember Short Circuit.
Yeah.
Honey, I love you. That's great. That's amazing.
Andrea says, I don't understand self-checkout. That's how some people can steal, scan the cheapest item, and not pay for the highest price item in their cart.
Oh, no, they got video right on the sites there,
There's
Andrea.
cameras right there.
Cameras right. Yeah, I know, because I give it the finger all the time. It asked me to rate it, and I rate it at 1 star, and I give the camera the
They
finger.
actually use biometrics at the airport now in Vegas. So you don't even show your passport or anything anymore. You walk up to a camera at the desk just before you go down the ramp to the plane. They snap your picture. They look on the computer. They say, thank you very much. See you later.
Isn't that
It's all
nice?
done by biometrics.
1984. All right, I think we got off topic. We were talking about social media and
We are.
disconnectivity.
Now we kind of
connectivity.
jumped over to...
We're talking about AI and everything else. But the fact of the matter is, literally, this is actually all part of it, right? Because you can actually bring this right back to social media. I know people that have had entire conversations on a thread in Facebook, and I get on there and let them know that I hate to break it to you, but you've been talking to a bot. That's not an actual human you've been actually commenting and chatting with. You're actually talking to a bot. Believe it or not, AI has also infiltrated that sector of social media. So if you're commenting with somebody, it's very easy to make the mistake and think you're actually communicating with a human. Meanwhile, you could very well be communicating with a bot. Okay.
A lot of chat lines now, and also phone lines, if you're calling, are all AI generated. So you actually think you're talking to a person, but as Cliff has said, in reality, you are not actually talking to a real person.
The line is so thin now.
Very thin.
It is so thin now.
I tell you what, just recently I got a friend request. Not a friend request, like a message request, just on Facebook. I said, hi, how are you? So I looked at the picture, and it looked like, possibly somebody that I know. So I went, oh, hi, how are you? And do I know you? So I got a friend request right after. So I thought, oh, okay, well, so I answered the friend request and I confirmed. Then I got a message. It said, so how are you? I'm like, I'm fine, how are you? I'm fine, how are you? And I'm like,
somebody just tell me how you are for crying out loud.
And I'm like, so I put on that, I went, bot, right? Just trying to tease it into something. It says, hello.
How are you?
How are you?
So I'm like, obviously I went back, deleted that thing, but it's straight up bot. They're trying to get your information, right?
Sure they are.
Kat says, I often mistake people I know for bots.
Yeah, I often mistake bots for people I know, or vice versa.
Laura says, I am listening, but can't comment too much as putting girls to sleep. There's a bit of a lag, she says.
And Brittany says, I only ever add, I know people I know personally or mutual friends add up, etc. And yet some crazy stuff sometimes. Oh my God, Britt, I'm telling you something.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I sometimes comment on, like I'm a member of a couple of groups, right? Like, Zen and the art of this and blah, blah, blah. And then a couple of ones about movies, kind of like, movies. And sometimes I comment, and I tell you it's so funny because people grab a hold of that comment and then they friend request me, and then it turns out that first of all, why would I agree to being friends with somebody I don't know just because they like my comment?
Yeah.
And secondly, sometimes it's not at all. They just want to, I don't know, steal your profile or something.
Again, I was going to say, why do you want to become friends with somebody you don't know? Because what's their reasoning for wanting to all of a sudden be your friend?
There's no connectivity, is there?
There is no connectivity.
I'm not going to feel anything, am I?
Yeah. Brittany says, it's so easy to get into people's info. Working for SaskTel only ever proved.
Oh, I didn't even know you worked for SaskTel,
That's
Britt.
a little disconcerting, I gotta say.
It is actually. I didn't even know you worked for SaskTel.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think.
Okay, so okay, sorry, Bill.
Go ahead.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
going to say, so then we know that there's disconnection when it comes to social media. We know that we're more connected than ever now, and some people agree. I think maybe Laura doesn't agree, but
We're connected electronic now than ever because we can't connect face to face as much anymore. Unless you make it that way.
And Laura says she doesn't feel sort of disconnected and alone, and I'm Laura. That's fantastic for you, but I think I speak for a great many people when I say that we feel, even though we're more connected digitally, I think many of us feel very disconnected.
We want that human connection. We want to be sitting like we are here, side by side.
Right. So now the world is not changing. Social media is not going anywhere.
Nope.
So how do we remedy this?
Well, I think by banning the phones in classrooms, it's this much. It's only
a little
that,
bit.
It's only that little bit.
But that's where it starts. It has to start there. It has to start young. It has to start in the home. First of all,
on the flip side, we do have to be careful with that, because are we taking away again? Now we're talking about people's freedom of rights.
Correct.
Saying, okay, so these kids, say in high school, for an example, turning around, are they going to turn around and start protesting outside their classroom in the fall? I'm not coming to class because you won't let me bring my cell phone in.
Right.
So then it's going to start with legislation.
Okay. So now you're legislating people's freedom away.
There. That.
Right.
You're taking their
Amen.
freedom of rights away.
That's the problem. So that's the problem.
That was the only thing I said today when I heard. I think I said that to Chai when I heard that. I watched the government. They had a news report making this announcement that all cell phones, electronic devices, other than their, as I said, Chromebook, were being banned in the classroom.
Yeah.
First thing I thought of was, so are these high school kids now going to protest when they go back to school in September and say, I'm not coming to class because I have the right to carry my cell phone and I have the right to have my cell phone on my desk if I want.
I know. Like I don't know what the answer is, but
couple of comments. I think depression and anxiety are on the rise
Here's a big
because
long one
of
for you, Paul.
disconnection, says Andrea.
yeah, Andrea. Actually, that's. I'd just like to touch on that. Andrea says, I think depression and anxiety are on the rise because of disconnection. Andrea, you're 100% correct.
That's very well true.
I think that's a fact, Andrea. I think that's a fact.
Here's a long one there for you, Paul.
Brittany, go back to our old ways. Phone calls, in-person visits, check-in letters.
Oh, check-in letters.
Social
Wow.
media and electronics overall make some think they have access to people 24/7, and it's easy to feel put aside when not answered right away.
Correct.
I believe everyone is slowly getting overstimulated when they can't live freely, and simply remembering to laugh. I love it. If you can't laugh at things or open your mind to the possibilities, it's easy to get caught up in all of it.
Brittany, can you take some of your own advice, please, and set aside some time for us to actually have a visit?
Laura May says, I get that I personally can't go visit people closely, but I enjoy chatting to my friends during games and such. Brittany goes on to say, and bomb threats.
Never mind gun situations, exactly.
Gun situations. Kids will protest faux show. Nicole says, high school kids have Chromebooks, so they have technology.
Well,
the cell phone in classrooms creates ways of cheating on exams or creating drama, including cyberbullying.
And also, Nicole, one of the things they did mention on this ban as well is no social media allowed in the classroom by the kids.
Right.
So, so they can obviously, when on a Chromebook, they can lock out social media ability from the kids. Good. But again, I think we're still going to.
Good.
So I said to Brittany, I said, speaking of visit, you should make some time. And she says, I was feeling guilty as I was writing that. Hey, Britt, good.
Here's another one for you, Paul.
To be fair, they are children. We've got to remember they are children, says Jeremy. Their parents have the responsibility to limit their children's rights. To help them better be functional members of society. We aren't raising children, we are raising eventual adults. Adults hopefully learn self-control and prioritizing. Jeremy, I'm with you, baby.
100%, Jeremy.
I'm with you.
100%, and I think it starts in the home. It starts with the parents, and perhaps then the government legislates it out of school, and then the parents tell the kids, no, you cannot protest because I'm with the government on this, and I don't think you should have your cell phones in the classroom.
Kat says, I have given up reaching out to people. My back gets sore, being the only person carrying a conversation.
You and me both, Kat. You and me both. Let me tell you something.
Makes it tough if you got to carry that conversation without any response or one-word answers to a response, and it's like, okay.
You know, here's the thing, guys. As an extrovert myself and somebody who loves conversations and somebody who used to go for coffee for all hours of the night for years and years and years in my teens and my 20s and 30s and yada, yada, yada. Now, I'm still an extrovert, but I got to be honest with you. I agree. I am getting tired of this. Like, I'm done. The conversation's over.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah,
So-
Kat, but you're 100% correct, though. I spent a great many years of my life basically setting up and inviting people over and, you know, everything to try and keep the group together. And you know what? I finally gave up. And you know what? The moment I gave up, the group just sort of dissipated. What does that tell you?
Yeah. Here's another one from Brittany.
Brittany, teachers listening to more rules, yet protesting their wages constantly. Seems like more babysitting to me.
Yeah,
says
it does.
Brittany.
It does, Britt. It does. It's such a conundrum, man. I tell you, I'd love to have on this podcast, I would love to have a conversation about that sometime, but I would like to actually have a teacher present or online.
Wouldn't that be fun, hey?
That would be
And
interesting.
James is not on here tonight, and James is a teacher. But
We can
he's
get him
not
on.
here.
Let's get him on. This is William. I worked at an internet service provider in the late 90s. It was an experience. Technology has changed by leaps and bounds, says William. Andrea says, me too, Kat. Andrea's backing you up, Kat. There's a bot for that.
Yeah,
Polly
you got
and
right.
Kat.
You got that right, Jared.
Correct. Nicole, it truly opens the whole Pandora's box with the debate of phones in classrooms. However, in some schools, parents don't care, and they've said, quote, good luck keeping my kid off their phone.
Yeah. Well, that's the state of parenting today, right?
Well, let's get a little proactivity there, parents.
Yeah, and Nicole says sometimes it's parenting the parents. God bloody hell, man,
Yep.
you're right.
Yep. I don't doubt that one bit, Nicole. You see it every day. I don't doubt that one
So
bit.
the remedy of connectivity then is in person. Now, I know that sounds rather simplistic to say, but the fact of the matter is, if that's the case, how do we rearrange our lives and our schedules, given the fact that we're all now at breakneck schedules? We can't afford time to text somebody back, let alone set aside time for a visit. How do we get back to that? Hey, Britt, how do we get back to that, Jeremy? I mean, Jeremy and I, we're great friends. And Jeremy, when was the last time you and I sat down to a coffee or a beer, man?
Yeah, I know
Right.
it makes it tough, and I work in technology.
That's right.
That's my job.
And Brittany says Amy McBride is a teacher. Yes, Amy is my second cousin, I think, or something. Amy's a teacher. It'd be awesome to have her, on that show and be able to comment and
It'd actually
whatnot.
be kind of
Brett.
neat to get 2 or 3 teachers on that
It really
show.
would. It really
Actually,
would.
Our volunteer coordinator for Ravenwood, Lindsay, is a teacher, a junior high school teacher.
And Nicole's
as well.
a teacher,
Nicole,
in the classroom. So
yeah.
My brother's a teacher. His
Yeah.
wife's a teacher. My
Yeah.
parents are retired teachers.
ex-principals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be fun. We have an amplage of teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrea says phones and iPad tablets have become parents.
There we go. Truth.
Sad but true. Sad but true.
Sad but true. That's right.
Hello, Amy.
Hey, Amy.
Hello, Amy.
Hello, Amy. Brittany, gotta be one of
Hello.
everything, at least in our fam. Kat says, I've asked friends to meet for coffee, and it's constant rejection. It's all talk, and when it comes down to it, I can't find anyone who will give me the time of day. So what is the answer, asks Kat.
Kat-
I'm open to suggestions.
Kat, I will tell you something. Number one, stop calling these jackasses, okay? That would be my first advice, because they're not worth your time. If you're doing the calling and you cannot seem to get a time together, there's always time. The fact of the matter is people who don't make time just simply don't want to, and you need to accept that. It's very simple. If people wanted to see you, they would damn well make time to do so. It's as simple as that, Kat. So if you call, if you ask, and they do not make time to see you, I think you need to move on. couple of things you can do. I would suggest that you start to look up groups of things that you are interested in. There is a website called Meetup, okay? And on Meetup, you can download the app. On Meetup, for argument's sake, let's say you're interested in hiking. You can go on Meetup and you can find hiking groups that says, hey, we're going hiking on Friday at River Valley. Does anybody want to join? And sometimes you'll get 2 people, sometimes you'll get a dozen people. And the fact of the matter is, if you go and you join these groups, slowly you will build a network of people. Fine, it won't be instant, heartfelt connections, but at least you'll be building a social network that can at least has a promise of future connections. So I think what you need to do is you need to step out by yourself and look for things that are interesting to you and join groups that do it, right? And in that way, you will expand your connectivity and your horizons of connection. And out of those connections, you will find friends who are wanting what you're wanting. Does that make sense?
I'm going to reiterate what Cliff says. Kat, I know you. I have the privilege of knowing you personally. You and I belong to a couple of groups in social media, and those groups meet up as well. And I'm going to go over to my earlier comment. It's you are. I'm an extrovert. I know you, Kat. You are more of an introvert. You are an extrovert, but you're more of an introvert. It just you got to get out there. You just got to get out there. You've got to practice that skill of conversation. You have to practice getting. It's just getting out there. It's boots on the ground, baby. That's what it is.
Laura says its phone's just going to be banned in just the classroom. So Laura, my understanding it will be all cell phones, anything, Apple Watches or Android Watch, whatever the case might be. No cell phones or anything like that allowed in the classrooms, other than the students have their Google Chromebooks. That will really be about it.
Yeah. And Brittany says geocaching is fun. That's a cool little activity, Britt. I tell you what,
still have to do that with my kids.
There are some people that just rave about geocaching. Yeah. I actually went on a little field trip. I didn't like get the app and I didn't do the actual thing, but I went with somebody who did some geocaching hunts. Oh man, it was really fun.
Jeremy, for connecting, try is spur of the moment. Hey, I'm in the area. Come have coffee. Hey, let's do lunch together on our break today. Hey, I'm outside your window with binoculars.
With a telescope. With it. Love it. Brittany says, risk it for the biscuit, baby, always. Meet up is how I met a friend, and when I got married, she was my maid of honor. 8 years later, we are still friends. God love you, Andrea. That's a great story.
There we go. So that was probably a running meetup. So Kat, anybody on here, I'm telling you something, meetup groups are very interesting, and depending on how much you put in there, there are other people just like you who actually want that connectivity and crave that friendship. And you probably will end up finding some friends, and I think that's a great deal.
Have a look at the clock there.
Oh my God, look at the time. People, this podcast went way too quickly. As I say to everybody every single week, thank you for being here. When I speak for the three of us, when I say we appreciate you coming and spending some time with us, and we appreciate certainly your activity and all your commenting and your engagement. We really appreciate having you guys here. And for some reason, if you're not actually watching it live,
well, you can tune back into it on Facebook and watch it there. You can go to our YouTube channel, watch it there with all the comments as well. And or just the audio portion is on Sound Sugar Radio on Friday nights at 10 p.m. So you can listen in to the audio. And if you're behind, you can always binge watch. There's 182 hours or more.
There you go.
You can include our 100-hour, 24-hour.
And Britt says, see you next time. I hope so, Britt. And if you try and go find that AI episode, or if you can't find it, you can always message me and I can point you through it. That'd be a fun episode, maybe on your trip to Saskatoon or something.
And you as well, William. Have a great evening week. Everybody have a great evening. Jeremy, it was great that you hung out for the whole show tonight as well. All right, everybody.
And Amy made an appearance. Nice to see you guys.
It was good to see you all, so we'll see you all.
And most importantly,
week.
Stay happy.